Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video we're gonna check out the balance changes for Guile in Street Fighter V, the final update. And obviously the question on everyone's mind, will Daigo still be a Guile player this season, or will he switch to Luke or Kage? I guess we'll have to wait and see. So let's first check out his changes. The first one is a general change to his jumping in general, and he pretty much have 2 more frames in the air, so his jumps are more floaty. So they made his jump kinda like Chun-Li or Bison. He spends more time in the air, and I do think this is a fair change, because Guile have insane ground control, so him having already amazing air normals and a quick jump was a bit too much, so I do think this is a good change. The second one is actually a buff. His standing medium punch have less pushback on block, so that when you block it you are closer to the opponent. You still don't get to be in a throw range, but now because of this change you can do 2 standing medium punches into crouching medium kick, and that is pretty good. It's a good change, and obviously because of the less pushback you now get to do this more. Walk up button, walk up button, walk up button. Yeah, that is good with him now. So it's a good, decent buff obviously for his pressure. The next one is also a pretty good buff, and that is a change to his crouching medium kick. This now have less pushback on hit, and this means more consistent combos. So if you're comboing into the target combo, this should be more consistent. Obviously with the new V-Trigger 2 buff, this should help with that a lot. If you have like counter hit on and you got a counter hit, you get to combo the jab into somersault. All these combos are gonna be more consistent, and that is obviously good. The next one, upside down kick. This have more recovery on whiff. Now it is 23 frames on whiff, and they did make it easier to whiff punish. This is a pretty good change, because a lot of Guile players were using it in the neutral. I think you will still be able to use it, but you will have to be a lot more careful. You can't really just throw it out there now, because it is easy to whiff punish at this point. You're just gonna have to like pretty much, you have to do it when you expect a low, right? Because that is the main purpose of it, is like baiting lows, but obviously he still have so bats. So I guess we'll have to wait and see on this one. The next change are to his V-Trigger 1, and what they did is that a lot of his moves will now have the ability to be cancelled into Sonic Break. That is a mini boom. And this means that attacks like, for example, his Guile high kick, that is a down forward heavy kick. I mean, you can cancel this now into the mini boom, and that is pretty great. Bullet revolver, that is this target combo, you can cancel it into the mini boom as well. You can cancel the target combos like these guys into it, or even like the second and third one only. Like, yeah, these are now cancelable. I mean, they should give him some combo utility, but I don't think it's that great, especially given how expensive they are. So for example, now like you can do this as a combo, right, which is pretty decent, but like that costs you your entire V gauge almost. And obviously if the opponent is still crouching, like here, if Ibuki is blocking everything and she is crouching, like the third hit will still go over her head, so you're not really able to cancel it into the mini boom and be safe. So I'm not really sure how good this is. It seems like a decent change that's maybe for fun, but I doubt it's gonna be optimal, if I'm being honest. Next up is a big change, and that is the opponent now gets more meter when they get to block or get hit by boom. And yeah, this is a big one. The increase here is from 18 to 24 on hit, and 9 to 12, so this is about like 25% increase, and that is pretty substantial. Especially since that a lot of the characters have anti-fireball moves that are like require an EX bar, so you're pretty much giving the opponent more EX gauge than you do. Like Daigo said in one of the FGC translated video, I'm sure you have checked it out, one of the special things about Guile was that he was building V gauge, or like critical gauge, faster than the opponent. Now he's still a little bit faster, but not marginally, so the opponent will have much easier time actually going through his EX move or going through his booms if they have an EX move that can do that. So this one is a pretty big nerf actually. Next up is a change to his somersault kick, the heavy version, and they extended the hitbox for the 4th and 5th hit. This should help him going through fireballs with the heavy somersault, and obviously gonna make it more consistent in combos because sometimes it would actually whiff. So this is a good change. I believe this change should help with V-Trigger 2 especially as well. Next up is a change to somersault in V-Trigger 2, reduce knockback distance when projectile land in midair. So this means that you are now closer to the opponent when you get the juggle. So pretty much when you do this, you are left closer to the opponent to pretty much guarantee the follow-up, right? That is the idea. V-Reversal got a bug fix. The skill 2 also got a change, and it is that it can be cancelled into flash kick 1 frame earlier when activated with target combo. So you might be wondering, what does this means? Well, it means that now with V-Trigger 2, this is gonna be consistent because it did used to whiff from some ranges. So now this is more consistent, and that is a good change. There was some wonkiness with this one, but now it's fixed. V-Trigger 1 got some substantial changes, and that is the cost for the mini boom is actually more expensive. And one thing I will have to be very clear about is that when you do like a boom into mini boom, that is still the same. That didn't change. So all of the Guile loops in the corner and everything, they're still the same. What changed is the raw boom, right? Like this one is a lot more expensive, and this will actually decrease the utility of his V-Trigger, because one of the main perks to it was that you can walk forward or just not have to charge and still be able to get a boom out. So that was a really good thing about it. But now they've kind of reduced the utility here, where it is better to almost start with a boom, which means you would have to be charging. So that is unfortunate. Now they did also nerf it on block, because this used to be +1 on block, now it's -2, so that is a nerf. And obviously from range you're still gonna be plus, like if they're blocking something like this, you're still gonna be plus. But point blank, the idea, like if you're trying to make something like this safe and cancelling into boom, yeah, you are -2, not really plus on block anymore. So I do think with all of these nerfs in mind, V-Trigger 1 is looking somewhat weaker. Now they did increase the combo limit, that is to make some of the target combos that I showed you previously work, but I still think, everything considered, this V-Trigger now is actually a lot weaker, especially given what changed with V-Trigger 2. I think V-Trigger 2 is more appealing right now for Guile, and V-Trigger 2 got a pretty dramatic change. The first one is that you don't have to charge for the flash kicks anymore. You can just do up down or down up, right? So like any normal that is cancelable, like say you can walk forward, crushing medium punch, and then cancel into somersault, right? And this means that walk up pressure lines, this with Guile is gonna be a lot better, right? Because you can simply walk up without having to charge and you get the somersault. That is great. The second change that's also really good is that any of his kick moves can be cancelled into a flash kick. Now, kick moves are the normals, the regular normals, not the command normals. So you can't cancel a bazooka knee into flash kick, but you can cancel like a standing heavy kick into it, and that is pretty good, or like a crouching medium kick into it, and that is pretty good. Now his crouching medium kick obviously have a lot of range, it's a very good poke, and being able to convert that sort of damage outfit actually is a pretty big deal. This is a very big buff to this V-Trigger, so that is great. Now the final change to Guile is a really good one as well. It's kind of a mixed bag, but overall I would say it's good for him, all things considered. They did change the distribution for the damage on his critical art, so that the bulk of the hit happens on the final hit. So take a look at how his critical art is now, right? It will do a little bit of damage, and then one hit will do massive damage, and that is great. It used to be like 40 for 5 hits and then 120 for the final hit. Now it's 20 for 5 hits and then 220 for the last hit. And this means that you are much less susceptible to gut scaling. For example, it's very similar to what Karen gets, right? A lot of people might wonder, why does Karen CA kill every time? Well, it's because one hit is doing the bulk of the damage, and that is what they gave for Guile. So this means now, for example, at like 25% health like that, your critical art is almost guaranteed to kill every time, right? That's the point, right? So for a character like him, his damage will actually be doing more when the opponent is low on HP, so ending combos with super when they are low on health, it's gonna be that much more effective. This is a very big buff actually. Now they did also change the move so that when the opponent is blocking it, they are pulled closer to Guile, because some characters did have issues punishing this. It was hard for some, but now it will bring them closer for a punish, and he is pretty negative on block, so that is a fair enough trade. Overall, I do think Guile is fine. I think the no nerf he got was actually too severe. Even with the nerfs to V-Trigger 1, I think it's still fine, because Guile wasn't really a V-Trigger character, and he still got the loops, he still got the damage, and you can still do most of what you could previously, so that's not a big issue. The change to his EX, or like boobs building meter, that is pretty substantial. The jump is a pretty annoying nerf, it's not the end of the world, and given how some of the top tiers got heavily nerfed, and given that Guile himself is actually good versus Luke, this is actually very important. Guile is good versus Luke, he probably wins that matchup. That is gonna help him a lot in the overall meta. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment, it helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.